It's drowning me out.
Bring it back. That's not drowning you, it's because of your hat.
Well, I can't take my hat off. I look completely white.
Because you are.
But I'm sitting right here in the sun. Is there any way that we could...
What do you want? You want to step back some? Like this? I mean, it's really good lighting. And 1, 2, 3. Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. My name is Faisa if you are new here. And this is my husband Dylan.
Yep.
I thought you were going to introduce yourself, so I waited a second.
They know me.
Some people don't. Today's video is all about our house buying experience, buying a house young, any tips that we can offer you guys. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So you wanna talk about the first thing? So we have a couple of notes here, which is why I have my computer, just to make sure we kind of cover everything. And of course we'll add in other things, but let's talk money.
So the first thing is, so you have to get approved for a loan first, right?
Okay, yes, credit, sorry. Good.
So you have to get approved for a loan first, and obviously they're gonna pull your credit history, and depending on your credit score is what you're gonna be approved for. Okay, so we got approved for a certain amount, and with that amount, we didn't want to max out how much our loan was. Like, it's cool that we got approved for that, but we didn't want to max out the loan amount. Mm-hmm. So we found a house that was $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 below that amount, and you can still get a good house and your payments are going to be cheaper, or they're going to be lower than what you were originally expecting. So with that loan, it also depends on the type of loan and the type of company you go with for a down payment. We didn't have to do a down payment for the type of loan that we got. Some other loans and some of the companies require you to do that. But we did have to pay closing costs. And again, some other companies and some other loans, you don't have to pay closing costs. We did. They said to bring about $8,000 to the table for final closing costs. Good thing is that money gradually went down. However, with everything else in the house, with all the other stuff that we had to buy to just buy stuff for the house, it came out to be about that much money in the long run. So you need to have a healthy savings account, good savings, and actually be fiscally responsible and have a plan for what you're going to do with the money. Because once we got our tax returns back, we said we are not touching this, and moved it off to the side and said we are using this just for the house and only the house. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was our plan.
Yeah, so ideally have you about $10,000 just to say, if I don't use all this, great, I can use it to furnish my house. But if I need it, then I have it. And also with that, they will tell you, like for instance, for appraisal, they'll say, oh, send me $600 for the appraisal. And like right now, like you need to have that money ready to go and send.
X closing fee, or this fee, or this termite bond, or
which we actually got lucky. Our builder actually paid for that.
Yeah.
Which I think because we had some issues with the water lines, so I think he was just trying to help us out and to kind of get some things rolling along. Yeah. And we didn't actually, they were like, oh, okay, start looking for it. And then one day, like, oh, he already bought it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's great.
Yeah, so that's just for that house portion of it, but all the steps along and all the different fees you have to pay along with it, it's very good to have a healthy amount of money set off to the side, because there's a lot of, I guess, unspoken about fees.
Yeah. And, like you just don't know, you don't know it's coming. It's just like, hey, send me $600 for this. Hey, this is $400. Go ahead and cut me a check. We need this to do X, Y, and Z. And
otherwise, your paperwork stops. Like, they can't continue on until this paperwork is done.
Yeah, for sure. So there's that.
That's the biggest and most important thing, being fiscally responsible up until the point. of you getting a house.
For sure, and you have to stay on it. And honestly, it can be hard, especially for like a lot of like single people, because Dylan working a lot, I pretty much had to handle like all this stuff, like juggling all. Like, of course he was involved, but like some of the stuff that he couldn't do because of him working, like it was on me.
I legit don't know how people would do it if they're single and they don't have someone there to help them out. Face up, this is her house. I'm barely. She says I was involved. Yeah, I skimmed. I skimmed documents.
I had to explain something like, this is X, Y, and Z. I need you to do this, or like stuff that I couldn't do.
Like as I'm reading the documents, I'm like, yeah, I know some of those words.
All right. Okay. So the next thing, super important. You want to find a realtor that is going to fight for you. Someone that, even if your request is something silly, you want somebody that's not really going to shut you down, that's still going to put in that good word for you with the seller or the builder or whoever, the other realtor that is doing it for the builder, that's selling for the builder. You want to get somebody that's going to fight for you no matter what your demands are. Like, even if it's simple, like, I want to keep your curtains that you have in the house, or whatever. But with us, it was a little bit different because this is a new build, and this house, we got this house actually before it even hit the market. So that was something that was really good. What is it? We wrote a letter, which was more personable, and a lot of people actually don't do that anymore from what we've been told. We wrote a letter to say like who we are, why we're interested in the house, and honestly that could have been very helpful in the reason that and the reason that we got it. So yeah, reason we got it before it hit the market, and our house was listed for X amount of dollars, and we said, okay, so we sent in the offer. It was supposed to hit the market, like 10 days before we sent it. And we sent in the offer, and he said should I give a number? Like for $6,000, he said extra. Yeah. Okay.
So the pre-listed market value was X amount of money, and we wanted to be competitive because the housing market right now is so crazy. And if you don't know, we were on Zillow before we got a realtor.
Yeah.
And we would get an update on our phone saying, hey, this new house is on the market. We would go and look at it, and like, oh yeah, this is a nice house, and scroll down, and it would say offer pending.
Yeah.
Or contingent. And
within 2 days of it hitting the market, it would be gone.
And some of the houses, they were under contingent 6 hours when they hit the market. So how do you even compete with something like that? So we were extremely fortunate and blessed that we were able to find this house. Our realtor found this house because we were having no luck.
Exactly. And there, honestly, when you look online, like there was no even picture of this house. Like, unless you could only find this house if you had the address.
Like, it would show the outside of the house and then the location for Google Maps, and that was it.
It didn't even show the outside. It showed pictures of a reference of what the inside could look like. Yeah. But there was no picture of the outside. When you pull it up online, there was still, it was just trees and grass.
Yeah.
So, of them, I guess, like, clearing the lot. But yeah, make sure you get a realtor that is going to fight for you, that's going to really push for those demands and everything that you're wanting.
Because no request is silly, or no question is silly during a house buying process. Absolutely not. Don't feel like you're being petty. Don't feel like anything.
Nope, because you are spending your money.
Yep, don't question it. Just ask it. The worst they can say is no. Because if you don't ask it, then you won't know, they won't know that it's a problem or it's an issue with you. Bring it up.
Yep, absolutely.
Not everyone's going to be able to have a VA loan. Not everyone's going to have access to it.
Absolutely.
There are multiple different types of loans, but take your time figuring out which loan works for you.
For sure.
I know that back in the day, a few years ago, the annual percentage rate was like 8%, and that was pretty standard. And then the housing market crashed, and now it's holding steady at around 5%. So if you get a loan that's around 5%, it's pretty decent. That's pretty standard rate, and that's what we got through our VA loan is 5%. So it's not the best in the world, and it's not the worst that it could be. But go with a reputable home loan lender. That way you can get yourself a good loan that's good for you and what you need.
Right. And another thing on the loan is when you're in that waiting process, it only took us, a lot of people are saying it took their loan a while to come back. I don't know if it's the mortgage people that we went through or whatever. They got it back in 3 weeks. So it was extremely fast. He was working with us, but at the same time, we didn't slack on getting him the information we needed for him to process the loan.
You got to stay on top of that.
Yeah, you got to get it done. We got it done in what, a couple days?
Yeah, you got to stay on top of that paperwork and phone calls and stuff. If you're at work, have your phone on loud, because it's not a phone call that you can just miss. I've had to leave meetings or whatever just to take a phone call to go through this home buying process, because it's on at every single step. They would be at a work stoppage if it wasn't for you or for them. So they have to get a clarification, have to get a signature before they can go to the next step. So you have to be able to answer that phone, drop what you're doing, and sign that paper, read this document, whatever, at that time.
Definitely. The next thing, there was something else that I was going to mention about the VA loan. Back to, I'm going to edit this part back in there, but back to what year your house is. We're the first people to live in this one. This house is brand new build. Do your inspections. Just because it's new does not mean it don't need to be inspected. A lot of people pass up on that because it's $400 or $500. Do it, because there were some things that he found that we never would have known if we didn't have an inspector come out. So like the water heater, it was supposed to be raised a certain amount of inches off the ground.
It was supposed to have a relief valve built into it, or a pipe coming off the relief valve that we didn't know about.
Exactly. And then
downspouts for the gutter.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, like so many things. It does not matter. Do that inspection.
Because I'm not a handyman. I'm not good with my hands. I don't work around the house all the time or anything like that, because we've always lived in rental properties where we didn't have to do that type of stuff. Now that you're homeowners, it's on you. There's not a landlord coming. There's not a property manager coming to fix whatever happens. You are that property manager now. So a good tip though for things like that is there's not a YouTube video that hasn't been invented that doesn't talk about
That's
it.
true.
Like
With the washer and dryer.
putting the washer and dryer in. I was watching videos on how to do it. I'm actually embarrassed to say how long it took me to install it. But after a few wet towels, I was able to do it correctly. I got a couple of showers that day.
But she did it. You should have heard his scream. He was like, yeah, I did it. It was funny. All right, and the final topic that we have is signing. Do not, if you can help it, I'm not gonna say like absolutely don't. If you can help it, don't sign anything until everything you want is fixed. I've heard horror stories about people signing and never hearing from their contractors or anybody again. Luckily the guy was just here today to come and do some things, and they're gonna fix some of the things that we needed to be done before. I can't say done before because we're already living in. But we just need some things that needed to be fixed, little minor things, some things that we just,
some things that should have already been done that didn't get done, because the company that's selling you the house, they're going to contract out all of their maintenance, building, and debris cleanup through outside contractors, third-party contractors. Those people don't care. They're just there to get paid. They're going to do their job, and then they're going to leave. They just want to check the box and get the job done. It's not going to be the best job. You have to stay on top of it to make sure that it's done. We were in a position to where we couldn't fight back and say, you need to get this done before we sign these papers, but so we had to sign the papers. Unfortunately now, there's a few things that are going on around the house that need to be fixed. And
some things major, some things are just minor.
Some things are like, why wasn't that done already? and like it doesn't make sense that it wasn't done. So you have to stay on top of it. You have to just, and it goes back to one of the first things that I said was no questions are silly questions. Ask it.
Yeah. Yep. So if you guys have any questions, please leave us a comment, like, comment, subscribe, because we are a fun family over here.
She's the fun one.
You're fun too. But yeah, so yeah, leave us a like, comment, subscribe. We would love to have you. We got new videos coming. We got DIY projects, and you don't want to miss it. Okay, so bye guys.